Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. On today's video, we are discussing if it's still worth it to date in the Dominican Republic. And the reason we are talking about this subject today is because sometimes we have this conversation, especially because we see in comments and we hear people talking about, I want to date in Dominican Republic, I'm looking for a relationship, but on the other hand, you hear people saying, no, it's not worth it, money just looking, women just looking for this. So it is like, people are still trying to date, but at the same time, some people believe it's not worth it. So I'm gonna let my husband to do most of the talking, even though but because it's a subject dating and dating a female, I'm gonna let him give us his opinion, and I'm gonna get in when I see fit. So what do you think about dating in the Dominican Republic? Do you think it's worth it?
You think they gonna listen to me? Cause I don't date in Dominican Republic.
Well, since you say that, you got me. I don't know how we say, how credible would you be saying you ain't dating anybody?
Right. So, however, I still can talk about it. Yeah. And those who wanna listen can. Those who don't wanna listen, click off. All right. So. Yeah, I think it's worth it. I think it's still worth it dating, and like she said, you hear all these horror stories and about people dating here in the Dominican Republic, and it really gets guys, men, kind of scared to actually date and not just not even want to deal with the women. I can understand that. So when I hear situations like that, I just take it for face value because, to be honest with you, you're only hearing one side of the story. And I'm not saying that, the guy's lying, but it's still just one side of the story. And you don't even know who this person, you don't even know who the girl is, what she looks like. You don't even know who the guy is and what he looks like. You don't know anything, age, height, weight, you don't know anything. So it could be anything why, something like that could happen. We've gotten emails where, older guys are sending us messages saying, oh yeah, I like this, this particular woman, but she's doing this and that. But the guys, the age gap is like, 40 years apart. You know what I'm saying? So if you get yourself in a situation like that, you could typically almost, I ain't gonna say 100% sure, but there's gonna be a breakdown somewhere. Whereas the possibility of a breakdown in a relationship is higher than if that age gap wasn't there. So I say that to say that don't be afraid to still date because you hear these stories, because at the end of the day, you don't even know any of these people. You just hearing the story. There's a lot of variables that could be in that story that's at play that we don't know about. And most of the time, and a lot of time when we tell the story, regardless of who it is, it could be you, me, it doesn't matter, man. We always tell the story where it's favorable for us, pretty much, what I'm saying, especially in the situations like that. So we thought that addressing this for those who are interested and still want to date here in Dominican Republic, we thought this would be something that can be helpful to those who are still interested. But you agree with my assessment, or what's your thoughts on my assessment about hearing one side of the story and everybody only taking that one side and assuming that the woman is the issue the whole time?
I mean, of course, I agree. I mean, for you to have an opinion, you should hear both part of the story, especially because when you hear one side, you're gonna hear just how they feel and their side, just like it is. But and then plus you hearing from somebody else that we all know. When you say in the story, you only put a little bit more of what that person told you. They only push a little bit more. It's like, well, I don't know if you all feel like being in an interview, they tell you to say something, and then when you tell the other person, you'll be putting a little bit more. It's just like that. So you have two things in there. First, you haven't heard the other person's side, and then it's a third person saying the story that's even worse.
And one thing I left out, not only that, you don't hear the other side, typically there are red flags too along the way that these guys tend to neglect.
Because they don't want to see it.
Because
Most
they
of the
don't
time,
want to
you
see
don't
it.
wanna see it
So it
until
gets
it's
to
too
that
late.
point where it becomes excuse my French, a shit show. And then at that point, that's when they want to run and cry and tell the story as if they are the victim. And I'm not saying that they're not some of the time they're not the victim, because yeah, we understand, women play games. We understand that. I know that. But, it's just too many stories out there for me to believe that every woman, is actually playing games, and every one of them may be playing games, but it's hard for me to believe that there are ever no red flags that you could pick up along the way that you just tend to overlook. So anyway, to get started, I wrote a few things down to kind of help you guys navigate when you're looking to date here in the Dominican Republic. And number one is pick wisely. That's number one. And when I say pick wisely, I mean, you really gotta vet these women. You know what I'm saying? And I think it goes vice versa. You know what I'm saying? Not just with, foreign men dating, Dominican women. I think it goes for foreign women dating Dominican men that, you need to vet these, people to make sure that, they check out and who they say they are. And one way, you can pick wisely is, you need to look at the age. What is the age gap between you and this person that you're interested in? And let's be honest, the further away, the wider the age gap, the more problems you typically gonna have. And that's just a fact. We cannot overlook that. We have to be honest. If you're 60 years old and you're trying to date a 20-year-old, that's gonna be a problem. You may run into some issues down the road. It may be good in the beginning, but then later it becomes a problem. Like Too Short said, it was all good just a week ago.
No, it was just good this morning.
Right. So, guys, try to pick a woman that's closer to your age. And when I say that, they always say men divide their age by 2 and add 7. So if you're 50, 25 plus 7, that's 32. Start looking at around 32, 35. You know what I'm saying? That age. If you're 60, same thing, around 37 or 40. I know, and I know, guys want young women, but there's a price to pay with young women, especially nowadays with the social media and, and all that. There is a big price to pay with women nowadays with the social media, in this social media area. I mean, everything is materialistic, and that's just a fact. Everybody wants attention. Attention is the new currency. So I think when you look in the date, make sure that you look at the age gap and be honest with yourself. And I've heard people say, yeah, I'm 60, but I don't look 60. Nah, you look 60, bro. Trust me, you do. To a 20-year-old, you look 60. You may not look 60 to somebody like me that's 40-something, but you look 60 to a 20-year-old, trust me. So let's be honest about that. Also, when it comes to picking wisely, you want to look at the socioeconomic status of this person. Meaning that if this person is not on your socioeconomic level, not saying you shouldn't date them, but you really need to vet them a little bit more thorough than someone that may be closer to your socioeconomic status, or someone right at your level socioeconomic status. Go ahead.
No, I have something to say about that, because that one, to me, for somebody that is a foreigner, they come from let's say, like everybody call it first world country, to come to date over here, and then somebody that is the same. Let's say that none of them have nothing. Like you work to live, pretty much paycheck to paycheck. Somebody that is coming from the state, living paycheck to paycheck, it will be not the same as somebody living here paycheck to paycheck. So they will not be they will not be in the same social economical status, I think.
Right. Well, yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, you're trying to compare both socioeconomic status, and I get that. I guess what I'm saying is that if the woman is working and she's providing and making her own money, whether it's enough for her to live on, at least she's actually working, versus a woman that's not working at all.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Someone that's not working at all, you need to, you need to kind of maybe just kind of look at that a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? You just don't want to jump out and I know how and men are more, well, not more, but men are providers and they're protectors. So whenever we see women, we it's innately in us to want to provide for them and give to them. So I get why men do that and they want to help out, but sometimes that's not the play at the time, because you just never know what type of woman that is. And like I said, I'm not saying that those women are bad, because that's not true. It's but one thing is a huge pool of those type of women. But what I'm saying is, the higher you go up the socioeconomic status, the less BS you're gonna have to deal with. Theoretically, I'm not saying that 100%. We're talking in general. You know what I'm saying? We're talking in general. We're not talking about anecdotal. A woman who's educated, has her own job, basically has her own car. That woman is typically gonna be a little bit more independent than, and I use that word independent, loosely, because we ain't looking for no strong, independent, bad bitches. I understand that, but that woman's gonna be a little bit more on your level than someone who is not educated and doesn't have a job. Mm-hmm. So I recommend, even though we both are saying that it's women in that pool of people are good, I personally, I would look for someone whose socioeconomic status is more closely in mine. And like I say, I see these people, at the gym I go to. I see these people, some of the people that we hang out with, that we know that are, middle class, middle to upper class, Dominicans. So they are out there. And another item about picking wisely is choosing the part of the island where this person comes from. And I know that sounds a little, it may sound a little, bias or something like that, prejudice, I don't know, whatever word you want to use. But, if you're picking someone that's coming from Sosua, and not saying all women in Sosua are bad, but what I'm saying is, we know what goes down in Sosua versus you picking someone from Santiago or Santo Domingo, or even from the Campo. You know what I'm saying? So you want to be kind of selective of where you pick these people at. From tourist areas, if you're picking women out of tourist areas, chances are, they're hustling. You know what I'm saying? They're hustling. And that's, again, that's just a fact. You know what I'm saying? Not all of them, but, chances are they're hustling. And that doesn't mean that they're pros. That just means that, only thing they're out there is just trying to get a payday. So, and however they, they go about doing it is the way they go about doing it. But, look in places like Santo Domingo. You know what I'm saying? When I hear people talk about Dominican Republic and they talk about how bad, things are for them and the people around them, to me, they come from one part of the island. I'm not gonna name it, but they come from one part of the island. And here in Santo Domingo, I'm telling you, it's sometimes when I hear these stories, I'm gonna be honest with you, I think we're on a totally different island. That's just how I feel. Because the things that I hear them say about the country, about the people, I just don't experience it here. I think, coming to Santo Domingo will give you a not just coming, just living. We was riding around the other day, and I was telling her while we was handling some business, and we was going to different, governmental agencies and things like that. And I was like, hey man, there's a lot of stuff going on here in Santo Domingo. And if people just, spent more time in this city, they'll realize they'll have a whole different outlook on the island. I know for sure that, because I've been all over the island, there's no place on this island like Santo Domingo. No place, period. Not even Santiago. So just be cautious or careful where you select this particular person.
Okay, I have something to say in regards to that, and is that I disagree. I agree with what you're saying, but I disagree on the part of the island, because it's not the part of the island. I agree with you. It's where you pick them in the tourist area. What is the problem? Because I bet I have to talk in probably in behalf of some of the women of Sosúa. I mean, Sosúa, the town, is not the problem. It's the women that go over there to do the thing. A lot of them women are not from Sosúa. A lot of them women come from Santo Domingo. They come from Higüey. They come from different part of the island. They go over there because that's what is going down over there. Or any tourist area, let's say, also like Boca Chica. So it's not the place where you pick, it's the area where you pick them as. If you was in the tourist area, let's see what they were doing over there. I mean, that's what you need to focus on.
Yeah, you know what? I should have worded that better. It should have been what area you pick it from and not part of the island. But
not the town, not the town.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thanks for correcting me on that one there. So I think that's pretty much what I had for pick wisely. Another thing that I think that men need to do when they're dating or looking to date here is don't lead with your wallet. And I think we said this before, and that is just self-explanatory. I mean, however you start is how you got to end it. So don't lead with your wallet. I know that most of the times, you're gonna have to pay, or you're gonna pay because that's just the culture here. But you don't have to, splurge and buy all these things. We see messages, guys want to buy iPhones, they want to buy laptops, they want to buy refrigerators and stoves and things like that, and they've only known the girl for, a few months or so, and
sometimes they haven't even known, they haven't even met him. Sometimes
right.
They just talk over the phone. They're already buying all the stuff.
Right. You just can't do that. You can't do that. So, guys, don't lead with your wallet. Once you start leading with your wallet, she's going to start expecting it. And then once the faucet runs dry or the well runs dry, if that was the thing that was keeping her around, when the well runs dry, she's gone. So just make sure you kind of you're conservative as to how you spend your money, with her, because you're not obligated to take care of her family, especially if you don't know her. You're not obligated to help her mom, her son, or any of that stuff. Her son's father or daughter's father is obligated to help her kids, not you. So, like I said, and I mean that when you don't know them. Now, if if you're with the person and you've been with them or you're married to them, then you have some type of obligation to, assist if you have it. But somebody you don't know and you're just meeting, and they sending you pictures of empty refrigerators and their grandma on the, in the bed on a bed rest or something like that with an IV stuck in her arm. Hey man, I pray for her.
I mean, in some cases, depending on the case, it depends on the person. But yeah, I don't know.
Depends on what?
But
you just knowing somebody. It don't depend on nothing.
I'm talking about that it can be sometime a real situation with somebody. Let's say somebody's almost dying really, really, because most of the time they're just making something up because they want some money. But it can be one time a real case where you happen not to help somebody just because you think they're lying. That's the sad part. But I will say, I understand a lot of guys doing that because they probably like the person that they're talking to, that you want to keep them around, but I don't think it's worth it. If that is the only thing they keep them around, every time that they say something to you, they lie to you, they send you a picture, you send them money, is that the reason that they come back to you, to talk to you, be nice to you over the phone or whatever? I mean, that is no reason to keep somebody, because at some point you have to break that connection. In some point, you're gonna be tired of the same thing over and over and over. So it's better early than late, or it's better cut it off from the beginning and then just don't even go there. Because what you doing that for?
I'ma still go back. I ain't don't help nobody, grandmama. If they ain't now. If you just knowing her.
Sometimes I real situation where people are in bad. I still feel sorry.
Well, I tell you what, if you
I
decide,
used to-
if they decide to do it, then I need to go. I need to come to the hospital. I need to see everything.
Well,
But
it
I'm not
depends
sending no
how,
money.
Yeah, how you decide to help this person. Even if you want to check before you go, give a certain amount of money, or before you decide to help, just verify that everything is right. And because I'll say for myself, I used to, when people ask for money in the street, I used to, oh yeah. Then in some point I say, you know what? No. It's probably to do this. It's probably to get some drug, and then sometimes I see somebody that is really that my heart say just give some. But I don't do it to everybody, just certain people that I feel like, let me give you some. But there are cases where I think you should help.
Okay.
That's all. Not everybody.
Yep. I mean, you got free will, individual choice. So you make that decision. And like saying in more cases than none, then it's not gonna be real. So
Yeah, I agree with that.
so the next one is don't be in a rush. Guys are in a rush. They
They want to find that person. They want to find somebody. I'm looking for somebody.
ASAP. Like I'll be
Very
over there in
low
2
to
weeks,
marry.
and I want to find me a wife. You want to come over in 2 weeks and you want to find a wife?
They want to have it set up. Set up for when I come, it's there.
Right. Guys, you can't do that.
You setting yourself up for
right. For failure.
something bad.
Right. You coming over here for 2 weeks or a month and you think you're gonna find a wife. No, you need to don't be in a rush. Just come here, get your eyes on hard, and just look around. Talk to people, don't get attached to the first person you see. Don't be in such a rush. I'm not saying come over here and exploit the women. I just want to be clear about that. I'm not telling you to come over here and do anything like that. Although I know some people do it. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying come over here, take your time, go different places, hang out, and kind of see what's going on. Because, man, listen, you can meet women anywhere here. Anywhere. I was telling her the other day, man, you come down here in Santo Domingo and you go on Ave Lopa de Vega between 3:30 and 6:30. Everybody getting off work, man, listen.
Lope de Vega with what? You just know Lope de Vega. Lope de Vega.
Like from Gustavo Ricard all the way down to the metro station. Listen, man.
There's a whole lot of people getting
They
off
there.
work. Getting off work.
They getting
going,
off work.
Getting the metro, getting transportation.
And now you killing one bird. You killing the bird. One bird with with 2 stones.
Finding
With
women
one
and they
stone
already have a job.
That already got a job.
Because they getting off work.
Man, listen, I pulled in there, and the way I found this out is because I was going to the National, which is right there on Lope de Vega, and I typically park all the way to the back or the front of the store, and it faces the street. And one day I was sitting in my car because I was doing something before I went in the store, and I just looked up and I was like, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they coming from everywhere, man. Just take your time. Just take your time. And if you take your time, you'll be okay. If you come here and rush it, like you say, you're setting yourself up for failure. In Santo Domingo, it's a whole lot of them, brother. They are here. Trust me, they are here. So don't be in a rush. The next one is understand the culture. Listen, man, if you don't understand the culture, if you don't understand how these people operate, then you're setting yourself up for failure again. You got some guys that only thing they want to do is they want the woman, but they don't want nothing else about her. They don't want her culture. They don't want nothing. They just see this beautiful woman, her physique, her looks, and that's all they want. They don't want to have. They want to take her out of her culture and put her in their culture, and they want to be. It don't work like that. In order for you to get with a Dominican, or not even just a Dominican woman, a woman from another culture, you need to at least understand something about their culture. I mean, just imagine you being with a woman being with you and not even understand anything about your culture. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing that I think that helped us out is that, you know, she doesn't fully understand it, but she understands parts of black culture. She understands it. She understands, she can relate to certain things about it. Or if I tell her certain things, she understands it. So, and same here with me. You know, I understand. Matter of fact, I love that culture. I love Dominican culture. So that was one thing that, you know, intrigued me about being here is I like the culture. So it wasn't like, you know, she had to, you know, get me to twist my arm about it. But, you know, you want people to understand. You want to be able to understand something about their culture. You know, guys, they don't even want to dance bachata. They don't want to learn salsa. They don't want to learn Spanish. They don't want to do nothing. They just want the beautiful woman, and that's it.
I agree. That's very important is to try to understand the culture because it is a lot of frustration and a lot of disappointment, I guess, from both sides if you don't because, I mean, you have, and I will say they have to be in both ways because even if the guy just understand Dominican or the women culture, but then they don't trying to learn anything from the other side culture, it will be the same thing and say, he gonna feel tired because it's like everybody need their own, like feeling their own culture. Because you're sharing a life with somebody, but not like you are how you say, you are not illegal. What is the word that I'm trying to say? You're getting into somebody else's culture, but it's not like you're trying to forget your own culture.
Right.
So yeah, it had to be something that complements. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
And then when, you know, and that also leads back to sometime when you hear people say that Dominican women only like Dominican men, you know, well, if you're not trying to, and I'm not saying this is in all cases, but, you know, if you're not trying to immerse yourself in their culture and understand her culture or his culture, you know, then that person, you know, may revert back to something that they know, you know. You know, why would a Dominican woman, regardless of what you provide, if you don't want to learn Spanish, you don't want to eat none of the food, you don't want to learn how to dance, you know, you don't, you know, any of these things like that, you don't even want to go to visit, you don't even want to go to the campo, you don't want to do none of that. So why would they stay with you and you're not making an effort to, you know, understand where they come from or either pretend like you like some of the stuff that they like.
I agree.
And the last one I got here is if you plan on dating a Dominican or dating here in Dominican Republic, I think you need to have a plan. I've seen too many people who, you know, meet Dominican women and they don't even have a plan. You know, sometimes they even get married to them and they don't even have a plan to either them coming over here or the lady going back there. It's like, well, why you got married? You know, you need to have a plan. I mean, because if you're gonna find a woman here and you're gonna marry them and you don't even want them to go back to your country, but then you're not even coming over. You're not even planning on coming. You're planning on coming over here, but you don't know how you're gonna do it. Just soon as you find some online work, then you're gonna be here. Then this woman is here by herself. I mean, that's not a good thing, bro. I don't recommend that at all. I don't recommend that at all. You know, idle hands is a devil's playground. Period. You know, if you're gonna get married, you need to find a way to be with your wife or your family, whichever one. You know what I'm saying? Either she go to you or you come to her.
Yeah, you have a plan. This is what we're gonna do. Even though when you have a plan, you know the plan probably doesn't execute right away. You're gonna be ready, but at least you have a plan that you're gonna start working toward that plan as soon as you get married. Like, for example, some people take their spouses back, but you know, as soon as you get married, you're gonna start that process. The process takes time, yeah, you're just waiting for that time. But some people don't even have that plan. It's just, they are like in a limbo. I mean, we ain't doing no paperwork because I don't want you to go there, because as soon as you get to the United States, you're gonna go, you Dominican people, you're gonna disappear. You're gonna, how do people say, ditch on me? Yeah. So they just say, okay, I'm not gonna do your paperwork, gonna be married. And then when I came, or when I decide to retire, then I move over here. When was that happen? Yeah.
Right.
And then we divorcing next month.
Right. So yeah, you need a plan, man. Don't get married and figure it out. Figure it out before you get married, because at the end of the day, you know, you want to be able to communicate that to her. That way, she understands that, or he understands, whoever it is, that, you know, this is what we're gonna do. Once we get married, I'm gonna put in your paperwork, and you're gonna come and live in the States. It's gonna you know, it's gonna take X amount of, you know, months or a year to get you there. Or, you know, when we get married, I'm gonna start working remotely. I have something lined up, and I'm gonna move over there. So either one of them, but don't get married first and then try to figure it out. I think it's just, I'm not saying it wouldn't work. It couldn't work, but it's just a tougher road to travel to, you know, to be wondering, to have your wife here and wondering when you're gonna get over here and wanting to be here, but you just can't get here. So.
And that's a conversation that you should have way before you get married, to see if you are on the same page. Because sometimes people get married and say, okay, my plan is to come over here, but her plan is to go over there,
right.
or his plan is to go over there.
Right,
and that conversation doesn't convey it until after. And that is when the problem is, because you don't know what is other people's intentions. So that is a conversation that you should have before, and that you both agree that that is what you want to do. Either you don't want to live in the United States, you want your husband to be here, or that you know that I want to go over there when we get married, that I'm planning to go over there for any reason that you may have. But you should have that conversation before, that you don't get a surprise then after.
Yeah, because we've seen that too. We said, oh, you know, we're married and I want to go live over there, but she want to go live over here. It's like,
I want to go over there, but he don't want to work on the paperwork because he don't want me to take me there.
Right.
So, you see that sadness, that face,
yeah.
that sadness on people's faces. Yeah.
So, I mean, we done seen it all, man. We done seen it all. We done heard it all. And so this is just something that, you know, we decided to kind of like, you know, share. Hopefully it can help some of you guys. I know some people are going to be saying, oh, you know, every time I talk about or say something, you know, positive, or, you know, try to get, you know, be logical about, you know, situations, you know, someone, oh, he's a simp, he's a sucker, he's lame, and all this type of stuff.
We cannot please everybody. And then,
Right.
are you, and when I say you, like everybody of the world is not tired of all the time hearing negative stuff. Are you tired to hear all the time negative and bad things? I mean, sometimes it's good to talk about good and positive, because it's there. It's not all negative. Positive thing also happen.
Right. But it's the negative stuff that always get the.
I guess that's most people like negative stuff.
And you know, one thing that you know that's weird for me is that, you know, having said what I just said, you know, people say, oh, he a sucker, he lame, and all that type of stuff. You know, one thing I would say, two things I would say. One thing I would say, check the scoreboard, and I'm up. Number two is, I say is that, you know, you have guys that, you know, they want a good relationship, or they say they want a good relationship, and with a Dominican woman over here in Dominican Republic. The thing is that, you know, when you have people like myself, and shout out to Marcus from Love, Purpose, and Passports. I love that channel. We love that channel. And, you know, that couple brings great information. But when I say Marcus from Love, Purpose, and Passports, when, you know, people like he and I give good information about, positive information about dating, you know, that's where you get people who, you know, they make these sly comments and throw ad hominems. But I say that to say is that people want these relationships, but they only gravitate toward the negative stuff. You know, they'll sit there and listen to such and such talk about how bad the women are, what they did to them. And as I said in the beginning, they don't know anything about the person that these people talking about. They don't even know the girl. They don't know nothing about it. Only thing they hear is the message. There's a lot of variables that can be, you know, drawn out of some of these situations that you don't know about. So you take that and you run with it. But what it leads me to believe is that you'll make your decision based on the negative stuff, but you really want something positive. Basically, what that tells me is you really don't want nothing positive. You got a loser's mentality, you know, because you're only thinking about the bad stuff. So you really want to lose because you're not gravitating toward the good stuff. The things that we're saying in this video are things that I think can be helpful to people. Like, pick wisely. Don't leave with your wallet. Don't be in such a rush. Understand the culture. Have a plan. These type of things are helpful when you're dating here. Now, will it work for everybody? No. I mean, hey, man, life is winners and losers. But when people talk about dating in the Dominican Republic, all they talk about or make you think about is that there's a whole bunch of losers. And it's not. It's people that's winning. I just told you, love, purpose, and passport, Marcus. He winning. You know what I'm saying? There's other people winning. Shout out to Ernie. You know what I'm saying? Deacon Earn Money. He winning. You know, people over here are having good relationships and having a ball. And to be honest with you, sometimes we sit around, we talk, we laugh. Because we think it's funny that people are listening to these other folks as if it's 100% true and it's going to be 100% true for you. And it's not true because it's not 100% true for any of the people I just named. So I just leave you with that right there. Mm-hmm. I don't know, when I get sick, I seem like I talk more. Ain't that crazy? Yeah, I got sick over here, man. Okay. And this ain't helping either.
Because probably what you need is some alcohol tea. No, that brown tea that you're drinking.
You gonna take care of me?
Of course. Right. As soon as I need to go up there, cut your nails, make your tea, and then we can watch movie.
All right, that sounds good.
So, do you have anything else to add to the video?
No, I think that's it, man. That's it. I think
that's good enough.
Yeah, I think most people are gonna get it. People who are open to receive the message will receive it. Those who are not, they're gonna be in the comments.
So this is all what we have right now. I hope this video can be helpful for some people. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and also share. And we will see you in my next one. Bye.
Peace.